Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a great day today. I am so excited because it's the most wonderful time of the year. The Sephora sale is almost here. It starts on Friday, April 1st. So for today's video, I wanted to share with y'all my top sale picks. These are products that I would highly recommend that you try out because you can get them anywhere from 10 to 20% off. And I'm also going to share with y'all some wish list items of mine. These are products that I have in my Sephora cart that I've never tried before, so I may or may not get them during the Sephora sale. So let's jump right into it so I can tell y'all what products I'm talking about. Okay, so I wanted to give y'all some information on the sale for those of you who may not be familiar. So Sephora does this twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. So this one that's coming up is the spring savings event, and they have 3 different membership tiers, and they're based on how much money you spend at Sephora during the year. So if you're in the lowest tier, which is called Beauty Insider, and I believe all you have to do is make one purchase and sign up for the program, and then you're considered Beauty Insider. So if you're in the Beauty Insider tier, you can save 10% off of your purchase from April 7th through April 11th. If you're the next tier up, which is Sephora VIB, you can save 15% off of your purchase from April 5th through April 11th. And if you're in the top tier, which is Sephora Rouge, you save 20% off from April 1st through April 11th. In addition to that, all of the Sephora collection makeup is 30% off during the sale. So I'm going to be going through each category of my makeup routine, and I'm going to give you guys a couple of my top sale picks, my top recommendations, and then for some of these categories I also have some wish list items that I'm thinking about trying out during the sale. So let's start off with a couple of eyeshadow palettes. I don't have a wish list eyeshadow palette, but I do have 2 recommendations for you. The first one is the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette, and this is the one that I'm wearing on my eyes today, and this is what it looks like. So this 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing a video and I have on eyeshadow, this is the palette that I'm wearing because this one is just so easy to work with. I can just kind of like throw a look together with this because I don't really have to think about like colors matching with each other. Like everything pretty much goes with everything else in this palette. It's a very nice everyday palette. So although I love cool tone palettes, those are my favorites. I have been picking this one up non-stop. So this is hands down my favorite eyeshadow palette right now. So I would definitely recommend this one. And I would also recommend the Natasha Denona Glam face palette. So these come in 2 different color schemes. This one is the light one, and they also have a dark one, and I went back and forth for the longest time trying to decide which one I wanted. I really wanted both of them, but I decided to go with the light one, and I'm not disappointed. So these are eyeshadows up here. This one is a cream blush, and then this one is a highlighter. I usually use the highlighter as eyeshadow as well. I don't tap into this cream blush all that often, but I have used it a couple of times and I do really like it. But I really love these eyeshadows as well as this highlighter here. And if you're looking at the dark one is really pretty too. Like I said, I wanted both of them. I just didn't want to buy both of them, but I'm not disappointed with this one at all. So this would be my other recommendation. And then next, moving on to mascara. So this is a sale pick, a recommendation. So I feel like this is my new favorite mascara right now. This is the Caliray Come Hell or High Water tubing mascara. I've been using this for maybe like 3 weeks now, and another product that I just cannot put down. So let me show you guys. Oh, I have eyeshadow all over my hands now. Okay, so let me show y'all what this what the mascara wand looks like. So that's what it looks like. And this particular one, it's like really sturdy. Like it doesn't move on you at all during the day. It stays in place. It doesn't flake. It doesn't smudge. And because it's a tubing mascara, it washes off very easily. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with a tubing mascara, but you can really just kind of like pull it right off of your lashes, and it just kind of like falls off in like one solid piece. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but tubing mascaras in my experience are very easy to work with because they just wash off so easily. But even though they're easy to remove, they stay in place all day long. So this one, and they also tend to give you more length than a regular mascara, and I feel like this one does give me a good amount of length. So this one is the mini version, so I'm definitely going to be buying the big size during the sale. Okay, next let's move on to foundation. And as you probably know, there have been like 95 new foundations that have come out this year so far. I think that I have reviewed all of them, if not definitely most of them. And out of all the ones that I've tried so far this year, my top 3 recommendations would be the Makeup Forever HD Skin, the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, and the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Foundation. So all 3 of these, I think that they wear very well on my skin. They blend out really well. They all look really nice and skin-like. And I will say with the Danessa Myricks one, which is the one that I'm wearing today, I'm not all that crazy about the shade range. It's not horrible, but I do think it could be better. But you can definitely find more shades in the Makeup Forever and the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. But I think all 3 of these, out of all the ones that I've tried so far this year, I think these 3 are my favorites. And I also have a foundation wish list item. I'm so excited about this because Rare Beauty is coming out with a tinted moisturizer or a skin tint, where they're basically the same thing, but I think they're calling it a tinted moisturizer. And it comes out the day before the sale starts, so it's right on time for the sale. So if I'm able to get it the morning of the 31st and I'm able to film a video that day, I will be doing that. So I'll just pick it up before the sale. But if not, I'm definitely adding it into my Sephora sale haul. But either way, I'm so excited. I can't wait to try out that new product. So that is definitely on my wish list. And then I have a couple of concealer recommendations. So the first one, well, this is actually a color corrector, but this one is the Bobbi Brown Skin Correcting Stick. So I love this stuff. I used to always use the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer as a color corrector, but I have been using this one nonstop since I got it for my under eye area, and then I also use it a little bit around my mouth area too. This one is in the shade Deep Bisque, and I love the way that this applies. It's very easy to apply because it's in stick form, very creamy, very easy to blend out, and it cancels out a whole lot of darkness. And this comes in a good amount of shades. It's not like a really big shade range because it's a corrector, not a concealer, but for it to be a corrector, they have a pretty good amount of shades in here. And then I also have 2 concealer recommendations. So this one is, this is the Rose Ink. This is called the Rose Ink Soft Light Clean Dewy Hydrating Concealer. So I do have oily skin, but the skin around my under eye area is a little bit drier than the rest of my face. So I love hydrating concealers. Now, the main reason I decided to try this is because of the shade, because I know a lot of you guys hear me say all the time that sometimes it's hard for me to find complexion products with a pink undertone to it. This one definitely has a pink undertone to it, so that's the main reason I decided to try it out. But I really love the formula. So I'm wearing it today, and this is actually my first time in a long time wearing this, because although I really like this, I cannot stop using my other recommendation, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer. So another one that comes in a really nice cool pink undertone that suits my skin tone. So that just really worked out in my favor, because like I said, I don't always have good luck with that. But this one is the shade 15 for those of you who can use me as a reference. Now, between these 2 concealers, I feel like this one is definitely my favorite, but they're both really good. This one is a little thicker, so it will take you just a little bit longer to blend out, but you're not going to be sitting there all day blending it out. But this one blends out really nicely. Both of these are really, really good. So there's definitely a bunch of other good concealers out there, but like I said, I tried these 2 out because they have shades that really work for me. So I would highly recommend these 2. And then moving on to some setting powder. So I have 2 to recommend to you all. The first one is the Sephora Microsmooth setting powder. My thing is broken, so I have to hold it like this. This is actually a baked powder foundation, but I use it as a setting powder, and I use the shade Tan. I don't really like this as a powder foundation, but as a setting powder, it works really, really nicely. And because this is a Sephora product, it's going to be 30% off during the sale. My favorite setting powder right now, and this has kind of replaced the Sephora powder, but to me they operate pretty much the same. This is the Kosas Cloud Set Powder, and I use the shade Pillowy. What I like about this one is I can use this on both my under eye and the rest of my face, whereas the Sephora powder, I used to use this like just on the rest of my face, but not under the eye. This one, the colors are pretty much the same, but you should be able to tell that the Cloud Set Powder is just a little bit lighter, and it's also a bit more translucent. This one will give you a tad more coverage because it is meant to be a powder foundation, whereas this one is more so a setting powder. But both of these are really nice. They're both like, they have like a smooth, like silky texture, so they just blend out really nicely. And you guys know that I love setting powders over loose powders. However, I do have a loose powder on my wish list. I'm not sure if I'm going to try this yet, but I really want to try that new Huda Beauty Cherry Powder. It's called the Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. So I never bake under my eyes. I just use powder just to set. But this new color is called Cherry Blossom. It's actually sold out right now, but I'm really hoping that they come out with a mini size of this. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy the big size of it because I just don't use loose powders all like that, but I really want to try it because it's so nice, and like it has like a really nice rich pink color, and that's hard to find. Like a lot of powders, they just don't come in pink. So I put that on my wish list because I might just give it a try just for the color and just see what I think about it. And I think it has fragrance in it too, so I have to check that out. But I put that on my wish list just because of the shade. So if you tried that powder, let me know what you think. Let me know if I should try it out. But if they come out with a mini in that color, I'll probably get it. I don't know if I'm gonna get the big size of it, but that is on my wish list for right now. So moving on to some blushes. So I would highly recommend two blushes for you guys. The first one is the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. Now these come in both dewy and matte finishes. I have a matte finish that I'm not crazy about. I feel like it sets down pretty much right away and it's really hard to blend out. But the dewy finishes, I really like those because they're just a lot easier to blend. Because it's dewy, it's just really not gonna set unless you like set it with the powder on top. So I do have, this one is the shade Believe, and I am wearing it today, but I did set it with a different color powder blush, so you might not be able to tell the color too much on its own because I kind of mixed two blushes together. But I really like these, and I think they have a dewy finish that's more of like a peachy color, so I'll probably be picking up another one of those. And then for those of you who are much more into like traditional powder blushes, I will also recommend the Pat McGrath Divine blushes. This one is in the shade Paradise Venus, and with this being a powder blush, I mean, it really, the finish of it really looks like skin. It's very skin-like, and it just like blends like right into your skin. These are really nice formulas for these blushes. So those are my two recommendations. And my wish list item is the NARS Afterglow blush palette. The color scheme just looks so pretty on this, so I have it in my cart, and I feel like this is one of those products that I'm probably gonna pick up. I feel like NARS is like a very high priced brand, so I do wish that this was lower in price, but again, I'll probably pick it up during the sale because I'll be able to get it for 20% off. So those are my wish list and recommendation blushes. And then moving on to bronzers, I have three recommendations, and these are definitely my three favorite bronzers right now. So the first one is the Tower 28 cream bronzer. This one is in the shade Best Coast, and I picked this up not too long ago. I did the clean girl makeup look, and I did like a glowy version of it, so I picked this one up for that, and that was my first time using that in quite some time, and I haven't really been able to put it down since then. Now today I have on another bronzer that I'm going to show you in just a second, but this one is really nice for spring and summer and like warmer weather because it just gives you like a really nice subtle but noticeable like really like glowy glow in natural sunlight. So this one is really pretty. Again, this one is the shade Best Coast. I also like the Saie Beauty Sun Melt bronzer. So when this one came out, y'all heard me talk about this left and right in like every video that I did. This one is in the shade Deep Bronze. This one looks like it would be too dark for me, but it's not. It's the one that I have on now. This one just like melts right into the skin, and you can, for this to be so dark, you can really like pack this on like a layer after layer, and it'll just melt into the skin so it won't look all that dark. So this is probably my favorite out of the three bronzers that I'm talking about today. But for those of you who would prefer a powder bronzer, because I know like sometimes people just don't really like working with cream and liquid products, so if you feel like you would prefer a powder bronzer, I would highly recommend the Charlotte Tilbury matte bronzer, and this one is in the shade 3 Tan. As you can see, I hit pan. One of the very few products that I own that I actually hit pan on. This one is very nice and luxurious, and it just like with this Pat McGrath blush, this bronzer just melts right into the skin, so it really doesn't matter how much you put on. It's kind of hard to over apply this because it just melts right into the skin. So those are my 3 bronzer recommendations. Okay, next let's move on to highlighter. So I really don't use highlighter really at all these days, but I really feel like I'm gonna buy the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb in Rosé Rave. I was gonna buy this last year, and then I said, you know what, I'm probably gonna use it very sparingly, so I'm not gonna buy it. But every time I go to Sephora's website, I always think about putting this in my cart, and then I take it out, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it this time because I really like this. And especially with now, with the weather changing, I feel like I'm just gonna buy it and then get some use out of it because the color is just so pretty. So that's my wish list item for highlighter. And then let's move on to a couple of setting sprays. So my favorite setting spray like of all time is the Fenty one. This is called the Fenty Makeup Refreshing Spray. This one just feels like a spa when you're spraying it. So whenever I start spraying it, I just want to sit there for like 5 minutes and just keep on spraying. This one does not really like set your makeup in place, but it is a really nice refreshing mist, and it will help you like melt down powders if you feel like you need to do that. So this one is really nice, and this one comes in a mini too if you wanted to just save a little bit of money. And then if you're looking more so for like a setting spray, the Benefit Professional Super Setter is really good. I haven't worn this for like hours on end, but I do know that it, at least initially, it really does help to like set and lock everything in. But what I really like about this is that it has like a blurring effect. Like, you know how when you put on like certain foundations or if you put on certain powders and you can really tell that it's blurring the skin, this does that in spray form. Like, it really gives you kind of like a soft filtered look on your face. So this one is a really nice one too. And I actually have 2 setting sprays on my wish list. So the first one is the Milk Hydro Grip Setting and Refreshing Spray. So when the Milk Hydro Grip Primer came out, everybody was raving about it. I didn't try it because I don't wear foundation primer, but when I noticed that they came out with a setting spray, I really wanted to try that because I'm thinking the spray might be really good because the primer seems to be really good. And I also want to try, now I'm not sure about this just yet, but the Supergoop Resetting Refreshing Mist SPF 40. So this product is really intriguing to me because if it works, it'll give you a good way of reapplying SPF during the day when you're wearing a face of makeup. I have yet to figure out like how to do that. Like, I always put sunscreen on underneath my makeup, but after I apply my makeup, there's really no way for me to like reapply it during the day. So there are other SPF sprays out there, but I just never tried them. This one I want to try because most of the Supergoop, the primers, a lot of people really like them. But this one, it doesn't have a whole lot of reviews just yet, but the ones that they do have, they're like extremely mixed, and there's a good amount of bad reviews on this product so far. So I might try it because it does come in a mini, so I can buy that one instead of the big one. But every time I look at the reviews, I'm like, well, maybe I'll pass on that. I'm not sure, but this one is on my wish list item for right now. And then lastly, I have a lipstick recommendation for y'all. Now, y'all know that there's like a ton of lipsticks out there. I've tried a bunch of lipsticks. I've done like a few lip swatch videos here and there, but this Merit Beauty Signature Lip, this one is really nice. I don't have it on today, but this one is really nice. So Merit actually sent me 2 of these to try out, but I have 2 other shades in my wish list cart. So this one is the shade La Avenue. This is the one that I have been wearing like crazy because I just love it. But let me also show y'all this one too. This one is called Fashion. This is another like everyday shade for me because it is very, well, you can't see it because I have on lipstick, but this one is a very similar color to my natural lip color. These lipsticks, the formula of these are really nice. They're like a very pigmented lip balm. They go on very nicely, and they actually keep your lips nice and hydrated during the day. These are some really nice lipsticks. If you go to Sephora's site, you'll see that these have a ton of 5-star reviews, and I think that they're very well deserved. I think Merit Beauty in general is like an underrated brand. brand, but they're considered kind of like a luxury minimal makeup brand, and these lipsticks are really nice. So I would definitely recommend that you guys try those out. So those are all of my wish list and sale pick items for the upcoming Sephora sale. Let me know in the comments what you're planning on getting during the Sephora sale, and of course I will be back next week with my haul video so y'all can see everything that I decided to buy. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this video today. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.